Honey, it was ruined when she bought it. Hey everybody! Welcome back to the Cosmic Crusade podcast, the only podcast on the interwebs where we are speaking on everything from the cryptical to the mystical and all the wonderful, wild, wonderful, mystical, magical shit in between. Hey, hi, how are ya? Listen, babes, I've got a treat for you today. I do, I truly do. I am in such a whimsical vibe, whimsical energy. Like, it's also comfy cozy though. Like, oh, this fit is so good. And it's not like y'all ever see my pants or like what I'm wearing, unless I'm showing you my pants. But babes, I am in comfy little pajama pants, this little turtleneck moment. Like, we're comfortable vibes today, but we're also whimsical vibes because we are talking about the nervous system. The nervous system. Have you been hearing about the nervous system? I've been hearing about the nervous system. Everybody is dysregulated. Everybody needs nervous system regulation. It will heal you. And I said, okay, girl, well, what is it? I said, okay. Like, listen, if nothing else, at my core, first and foremost, am a believer. I am easily convinced in pretty much everything and anything that has to do with the mystical, with the magical, with the spiritual, with the paranormal, with the woo-woo, with the hippy-dippy bullshit. Like, that is me to a T. I love all of that type of stuff. So when we're tic-tacking and scrolling through the void and, like, everybody is just seemingly talking about the nervous system, babes, you know I gotta hop on that train too. What to do, boo-boo? But first and foremost, hey! Hi! We gotta catch up. We gotta get you up to date with the life updates themselves. Yes, hi, low water buffalo. What is good with you, boo-boo? Hi! Wow, I really am just so pleased within myself, I suppose, within... like, I don't know, my brain space is so crazy. Like, literally, she's a trip. But I am typically like a kid in a candy store with just about every little thing. But then occasionally I find myself hyper-focusing on one thing, and that's where we're at right now. And the hyper-focus is Queen Herbie. And it's so good to have, like, a new number one artist, you know, because Nicki was the last one, and we all saw how that happened and how that went, and we don't talk about Bruno. No. So, Queen Herbie, though, let me tell you about this shit, because, girl, I got the VIP meet and greet tickets forever ago for the show, for the concert. We are excited. We are Hype City. But then, mama, we were doing a sound bath, like a literal healing crystal bowl sound bath, and I just felt so elevated in my life. It was magnificent, and she's like, she's just magnificent, okay? It's just the music of everything witchy, tarot, healing yourself, self-love, like, it's just, it's so good. It makes me feel so good. So for her to be like, I don't know, talking about dropping merch and talking about the vinyls that she's dropping for the new album and, like, showing, I'm fed as a fan, and I already fangirled on the TikTok, so I'm not gonna yap too much about that. But I really am excited to go see Queen Herbie in August, and also later in August, I'm seeing Kesha. So, like, August is just gonna be a really fun musical month for me, and I just really have been, like, I don't know, enjoying the experience of being a fan, okay? Enjoying the experience of just gobbling up and literally enjoying somebody else's content that they are pushing out. And that is what she's been doing. Queen Herbie has been pushing out content recently, and I am here for it. I am sat. My credit card is swiped 3 minutes ago. It's like, take it. I don't know, girl, I'm gonna be real. This has been a good little... I've been in a good vibe recently, okay? I think the low genuinely is within my physical body and, like, the pain that I have. And I don't understand what I do to myself. Like, truly, like, babes, you hear me talking about yoga. You hear me talking about exercising. You hear me talking about Pilates. You hear me talking about now the gym. And it's like I'm trying to take care of myself. Listen, my eating habits, admittedly, not the best, okay? Not the best. I am still gonna eat what the fuck I wanna eat, because I am working and I'm putting my time, effort, and energy into exercising the physical body so that we can be, I don't know, girl. I don't know. We ain't skinny, we ain't big back, but we just a lovely little in between enjoying life. That is where we're at. We are the happiness meter. That's what I'm tracking, okay? I don't care about the scale. I don't know. We're good. But I don't know. Recently it's been the lower back pain. I've had her for a minute. It's just kind of, it comes, it goes, it comes, it goes. And now it's a knee pain. And it's weird because also the knee pain is specific to the left knee. To the left, everything you own in a box to the left. Why is it the left knee? What happened? I don't remember doing anything to her. Like, listen, I'm practicing my number for this little lip sync party that we're doing, and like I have like minimal floor work, okay? Minimal floor work. It's not like I'm dropping, okay? It's nothing crazy, but I don't know. So I've been working on being a physical therapist to myself, and then my jaw starts hurting, and I'm like, can you just, you physical being, I need you to take a minute, take a pause, hit pause, take a break, and stop hurting, because what the hell is that? So I guess physical pain is the low. But honestly, the vibes have been pretty good recently, I will say. And the water buffalo, listen, the whimsy of cozy. That's my water buffalo, because that's the moment that I'm living in today, okay? This week, earlier within this week, we deep cleaned the home, okay? So the days off that followed were restful, where my mind is at ease. You know, the physical place is clutter-free. Everything has been, like, we did a deep clean, girl. It was spring cleaning moment. So that's all taken care of. Baby, my mind is at ease. We are happy, okay? And especially, too, like, I was just recently coming out of the illness of it all, so, like, to come out of the sickness, be returning to the body, tending to the physical ailments and having growth within that aspect as well, and then clearing out the clutter. Like, girl, sometimes the clutter just sits there and it gets worse, and it's like a thing of you're not really taking care of it, you see it, you know it, but like it's not 911 right now, and like also you're tired and you have 20 other tasks that you could be doing. It's like that type of cleaning. We did it. We tackled the tasks, and having that done, in addition to everything else, is just like such... The mind's happy. An explosion of happiness. That's where we're at. And also, we tried out Activate, which was kind of like a game room, but it's physical games. It's kind of like, think of like Big Brother, like HOH challenges, like that type of vibe, if you've ever seen that show. But it's like you're physically trying to do something very quick, okay? There's a light over there, you run, you press the light. There's a light over there, you run, you press the light. You have to hide from the eyeball that can see you and detect you. And if it detects you, you lose a life. Like, you know, things like that. It was really cool, it was really fun. It was a lot of running. And then the next day, too, we went to the gym, which was my first time in the gym. And I will say that I had always had it kind of preconceived notion in my brain space that, like, I am the girly who can exercise at home. I don't need the gym. Like, girl, I got dumbbells. I got the yoga mat. I have, like, you know, the resistance bands. I have the yoga block. I have the stair stepper. I have a fucking trampoline. Like, I just have all of this stuff that I buy for myself to be able to work out in my own space, in my own house. And listen, that has been working for me for years, and that has been wonderful for me for years. And it's just like, the ease, the accessibility, and it's just like I can do it pretty much whenever I want, however I want, and there's such a wide variety of exercises that I can do amongst the different instruments that I have. Instruments was an interesting word choice, but we're rolling. It is like a different experience in the gym itself, where there's actually a huge variety of equipment that is just targeting different areas within your body. And I just, like, I don't know, girl. I hadn't really experienced anything like that before. I have never had a gym membership. I've never done anything like that. So going to the gym the first time, my boyfriend had, like, a pass. So, like, I just got in, like, like, I'm a guest, So that was really cool. That was really convenient. But it's like, I kind of felt like a kid in a candy store, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, outside of I can just do it myself, I can do it at home. Probably some social anxiety built into it, but I think I'm just at the point within my life where I have grown to, I care more about tending to myself and taking care of my physical body and my physical health. I care about that more than I care about any preconceived notions that anyone is going to have of me being in the gym and like working out, because also within that experience, like 90% of the people in there were just like headphones and doing their own thing. Like everybody was fine. We didn't have an interaction. We didn't have an encounter. Nothing crazy happened. So it's like anything that was preconceived in the brain space, gone now. Gone now, because we have like lived through it. We've already done it. It's good. We're accomplished. So that's kind of been my life recently. We're back in the springtime. It's kind of raining again. It was just nice. We had some nice weather there for a minute actually, and we got outside and it's like, I can't wait. I can't wait for this to be consistently consistent, and then I'm frolicking through the forest again. That's gonna be marvelous. But yeah, now we're back down to it's like cold and it's rainy and it's weird, so LOL. So, I mean, listen babes, without further ado, here we go, boo-boo. Let's go ahead and talk about the nervous system. So, like, what is your nervous system? What does it actually mean? Where is that, like, is that happening in the body? Let's talk about her, because when it comes to your nervous system is kind of like your body's command center, right? It's the communication network of all the different areas of your body. So it's sort of always just like scanning, interpreting, and like responding to the world, both externally and then internally as well. So within the nervous system itself, there are two sort of like main branches, right? You have the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous systems. So within the sympathetic nervous system, that is going to lean more towards your sort of like fight or flight responses, right? It's dealing with activation, stress, and pretty much, I mean, just your survival mode, right? Whereas the parasympathetic nervous system, that is going to be dealing more with like your rest and digest. So it's going to be dealing more so with like calmness, rest, recovery, things of that nature, right? So pretty much overall, your nervous system isn't like a thinking thing, it's a reaction thing. And we're talking about like one main objective within the nervous system, okay? Keep you alive, keep you going, keep you functioning. It does not have discernment. It does not care about your happiness, your emotional state. No, baby. It is trying to keep you alive. That is what the nervous system wants, okay? And so obviously, as I was talking about earlier, everybody has been talking about like regulating the nervous system as this sort of like healing modality for yourself. But let's talk about dysregulation first before we talk about fixing the nervous system. So dysregulation of the nervous system, that pretty much itself means that your nervous system is kind of like in this stuck state. It is stuck and it's in the wrong state of being for the nervous system. Now, when we're thinking about the nervous system, we're thinking, how do we get there? How do we get to this dysregulated state? How do we get stuck? So there's a multitude of ways that you can get dysregulated, that your nervous system can get dysregulated. And some of that will look like chronic stress. That could be like your career, your finances, the connections that you have with people. It could also be like suppressed emotions, you know, the things that you're just bottling up, and emotions that aren't necessarily being processed in like a healthy, productive way. It could also be trauma or just like a traumatic event. The body stores that, and it could be a big event, it could be a small event, it could be a one-time event, it could be a reoccurring event. Just the fact that it has the trauma aspect to it, it's going to get stored within the nervous system. And then you have like the overstimulation aspect, right? You have the phones. We all have the phones. It's constantly keeping us like on and engaged, and, you know, social media scrolling, all that. And you have overstimulation of like a ruckus of noise, you know, maybe the environment is too loud and it overstimulates your nervous system. Pretty much just like that informational overload or like consistent input. Those are things that would dysregulate the nervous system. So in terms of like, I don't know, am I dysregulated? Does my nervous system need regulation? Like, how does this feel? How does this kind of show up? It's gonna be more of like, I don't know, there's kind of two main pathways, and it's like either too activated, kind of overstimulated, or not enough and being shut down. So when we're thinking of like the overactivated route, those symptoms could be the typical like anxiety, you know, the racing thoughts. You have like tightness or aching within the body, or just like that irritability aspect as well. But then when we're looking at like the shutdown side of it and those symptoms, that's going to be more of like the numbness, the lacking of motivation, the brain fog. We're kind of like having this dissociative experience where we're just kind of like checked out. That is more of the shutdown symptoms within the regulation of your nervous system. When it's dysregulated, that's how it could show up for you. So now let's say that you're thinking to yourself like, wow, I experience some of these things sometimes. I have had experiences like this. I have memories of this. I feel these things. What do we do now? So when you know what to look out for a little bit and you find yourself having these experiences of a dysregulated nervous system, obviously we're going to want to work towards the regulation of the nervous system. And regulation itself isn't about like being calm all the time, right? It's not about being the Zen master and just chill vibes 24/7. Its main goal really is to kind of help your body calm back down and return to that safely regulated state after it has had that that perception of danger to kind of set off the alarms within the nervous system itself, right? So we want to get back to that regulated safe zone. That is the job of the nervous system's regulation. And the regulation itself is important because over time it can lead to emotional control. You have less of that just generalized irritability, less snapping and exploding, right? You could have reduced tension physically within the body, how it holds onto that trauma. Once you start working through it, regulating it, you're releasing, okay? We're not holding on to anything anymore. And it can increase your clarity. You have a clearer mind, you're less overstimulated mayhaps, you are more regulated, you're back in that safe zone, you're seeing things clearly, you're making sound decisions, and just over time leading to the more balanced approach pretty much. And so you have like a couple of different tools or ways that you can go about the regulation, if we're thinking of focusing within the body itself, those methods would look like deep breathing exercises. When you're taking those full inhales and those slow exhales, that's going to be signaling safety to the system itself. You could do like a cold exposure, exposing the body to cold. That's going to kind of reset the system and your stress response. And then of course you have like a physical activity. That could be walking, that could be stretching, that could be like shaking out the tension. And then there's also like physical touch itself, like a weighted blanket or like pressure. Those are kind of the things that you would want to look towards doing if you were trying to, have a body first approach to regulating the system. Now, if we're looking more so of like the mind first, that would be things of like reframing your thoughts as to not necessarily be so reactive, but more so be responsive. Having that positive self-talk, because baby girl, you gotta hype yourself up. Or even, journaling, just having that space, like give yourself that space to let it all out, just air out everything that you have been bottling up, that you have been containing onto the paper, and just release it, have that emotional release, and to kind of give yourself that space to be able to process your own experience in a way. And then you also have the focus on like environment and what you are surrounding yourself with, where you are placing yourself. And that would look like just kind of noise reduction, reducing the overstimulating things, giving yourself alone time. And that one, girl, for me, that's like my number one. That's like out of everything within nervous system regulation, that is my bread and butter, baby. Like, I love my me time more than anything. I have told everybody that. I said, girl, I love you, and don't ever doubt that for a second. But I love me, and I love being a little hermit in a little cave. Just makes my brain happy to have my space and exist within my space and just kind of marinate in my space, okay? So that's a big one for me personally, girl. But the other aspect to the environment piece of it would be like routines, and having the predictability to the routines, having a set schedule, maybe having like consistency, just kind of knowing what to expect and reducing the like surprise. So any of these sort of like approaches that feel good to you, that feel right to you, that feel like they resonate to you or might be helpful to you on your journey, just sort of like keep in mind that you can't like think your way out of regulating yourself. You can't think your way out of having a dysregulated nervous system per se. It's like you have to like actually feel it. That is kind of the issue with the dysregulated nervous system. We're not allowing ourselves the space to feel all of the things. We're bottling things up. There are old things that are stored that we repress and just decide that we're not going to deal with, that we aren't going to give the time of day. Things of that nature, you have to feel them. You can't just like think your way out of it. You can put up mental walls, baby. You can block that shit out for sure, but that's not going to lead you to your regulated, healthy, safe, and balanced state of the regulated nervous system. Okay? So all of this information is wonderful and of value, but now let me hit you with like some realism, okay? Let me get you hooked up with how this can show up in your day-to-day life, because listen, girl, I know how it is, okay? We are all busy bees, mama. We are all doing things. We don't feel like we have time in the day. We have to go to work. We have to cook. We have to clean. Like everything, just the day-to-day repetition of existence. I know how it is. So my goal is to hook you up with something that you can do in 5 to 10 minutes. Girl, that's like you taking a shit. Just take that 5 to 10 minutes and take care of yourself, and it can lead to a more balanced, regulated, safe nervous system and a positive brain space. Who doesn't love a positive brain space? Come on. But pretty much I would just start with like the awareness piece, right? You have to bring the awareness. That is step one, understanding that you are in a state of dysregulation. That is huge. You can start with these couple of questions, right? Do I feel rushed? Do I feel panicked? Do I feel irritated? Or am I feeling shut down? Am I reacting or am I responding? And you can, of course, go through and be intentional with scanning of your body and kind of head to toe, thinking of all the different areas of the body, the fingers, the hands, the palms, the wrists. Do you feel any tension? Do you feel any stuckness? Is there any energy that's being captivated and held up in any certain area of the body? Any tension that you're holding on to? Pretty much also a good like rule of thumb here is if you find yourself reacting and your reaction itself is more like, I don't know, is bigger than the situation that you're in may necessarily deserve, then that's a pretty good indication of some nervous system dysregulation. So if you find yourself like in the moment in like that overstimulation or like a triggering situation, what you should do is just like pause, okay? We have to, once you have that awareness piece, step one, baby, once you have that awareness piece and bring the recognition to it, we gotta pause, we have to halt, we have to bite your tongue, bitch, okay? Take a couple of deep breaths. It's the same idea as earlier where we're fully filling up the lungs and having long exhalations, because that oxygen movement will signal safety, will signal clarity, will signal positivity. And even if you go through a couple of deep breath cycles and you're like, I'm too hot, I'm too heavy, like I'm about to pounce, then you gotta go. Literally physically remove yourself, step back, step out of the situation, go to the bathroom. Like that's literally pretty much wherever you are. That's a safe bet. You know, I gotta go to the bathroom. Just excuse yourself, GTG, before I blow this bitch up, okay? That's just like a in the moment check-in thing. And you can do like the physical pieces of it as well, you know, check in with the body. Where do you feel heated? Where do you feel tension? Are you feeling like your heart rate's accelerating? You know, those things as well. But on a more like daily exercise type of thing, that would look like setting aside like those 5 to 10 minutes, babes, and having the intentional slow breathing. And then again, you can also bring in the physicality and do some stretches. Do a little bit of yoga, girl. You know how I am. I am always going to promote some yoga. On YouTube, there are plenty of yoga videos, and some of them are like 5 to 10 minutes themselves, okay? Do that. Do a little stretch sesh. It's good for the body. It's good for the joints. Juice for the joints, baby. We love it. Go on a walk. get outside of your house, get outside of the space, experience nature. And this is like, no devices, baby. Because we are trying to de-stress, de-stimulate the overstimulation, or be present when we're in the shutdown moment and just focus on that present moment of yourself existing within nature. Listen to the birds, bitch. Listen to the birds. Don't listen to your Spotify. Listen to the birds. Okay, they make beautiful music too. They be making their beautiful music too, so give them their flowers. Or if you're wanting to listen to music and that's the desire for you in that brain space moment there, then you could just listen to soothing music, okay? Listen to the music that makes you feel good. Listen to the music that brings out the bad bitchery. Listen to nature sounds maybe. Do a little meditation moment, and meditation ain't gotta be nothing deep, okay? Meditation could be very physical. You could sit within yourself, focus on yourself. You could just be sitting and breathing, you know? It's all different and it's all whatever works for you. But it's all of those things that are like working towards just bringing more balance into your life overall and bringing the balance back into your nervous system so she can be safe, so she can be regulated, so we can all be positive polys popping up pussies, okay? So all in all, the nervous system is a huge part of your body, and she is always listening, more than anything else, low-key. But it isn't necessarily about trying to change yourself, trying to become a different person, right? When we're trying to regulate our system and ourselves, what we need to be changing and where we need to be doing the creation is within the body, okay? We just want to create a body that feels safe enough to like be who you already are, okay? Like you need to allow yourself the space to be your truest and most authentic self. And girl, you know I talked about that before. You know I have talked about living within your own personal power, because anybody else that you ever try to be, you are trying, you are making an attempt. It is a mimicry, right? But the only thing that you can authentically 100% genuinely be is you. And you should be. Why would you not want to be, okay? You are your own individualistic experience, and you being your own individualistic experience helps others experience themselves in a new and different way. So, with that being said, I hope you all have enjoyed. I hope you all have learned something, girl. This was wonderful. Do you feel regulated? Do you feel ready to do some regulation techniques? Do you feel ready to go back to balance and safety? Because, babes, that's a wonderful place to be, and that is where I hope that you will find yourselves. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, babes, peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love. And also, peace and love. Ha!